Welcome to the next clip on parents at risk. We've mentioned that when parents get triggered, it stops them from being able to be the optimal parents that they can and should be. One of the triggers that many parents have is called rejection. Parents, families feel they're being rejected by other family members, broader family members, schools, society, kehillas. Some of them will say, you're more than welcome, leave your kid at home. They're rejecting our kid in pain. Many of us feel that Hashem is rejecting us. Like, why couldn't Hashem just give us normal kids and have a normal home? Why do we have to be challenged with these impossible challenges, things that seem to be spiraling out of control? What does Hashem want from us? When parents get triggered like that, our response is going to be to protect our own name, to protect ourselves, and we end up rejecting the child in order to combat the rejection that we're feeling. How are we going to deal with that? The first point, is it true? Is it true that Hashem is rejecting us? Is this child a punishment? Well, let's say it is. Worst case scenario, let's say Hashem gave us this child as a punishment. When Hashem gives us punishments, is it a form of rejection? Or is it a form of purification? Is it a form of tikkun? A way of getting us to better places, to higher places, closer to Hashem? So let's say it's a punishment. Well, let's accept it. Let's accept the Yisurim and say this is a punishment, and daven to Hashem that we should have the knowledge and with it all in us to be able to use this challenge and take us to where we're supposed to get to. What's the truth? The truth is it's much more of a challenge than it's a punishment. We've already discussed that there's no room for guilt. If there's no room for guilt, there's very little room for rejection. This may be a challenge at the least, and the journey may even be a gift. If we know how to utilize this journey to bring us to higher levels of avodas Hashem, then this journey can actually, when we look back at it, and it can be a gift. There are so many parents that tell me, our shalom bayis has become so much better. Our relationship to Hashem is so much better. Our relationship to the other kids is so much better. We've only gained from this unfortunate situation. That's as far as feeling rejected by Hashem. Society. Do society reject us parents who have a challenged kid? Well, yeah, they sometimes do. Is that coming from their wise education or the lack of it? We can show them where this path can actually take us in our avodas Hashem. We can show them you don't need to reject us. We're not the outcasts of society. We're not the part of society that just couldn't make it. We're the part of society that's being challenged with difficult and different challenges, and we're going to rise up to the occasion. We know from wolba and from other gedolim Yisroel, I personally know some stories where huge Talmidei Chachamim and gedolim, they battled with these issues in the house. They embraced their child the way they were supposed to and ultimately brought them back. We're trying to educate societies. There's much for society still has to learn, and on many of my talks, when I speak to the general public, I'm trying to spread awareness of this issue, and things are definitely getting better. But yes, there are parts of society that are still uneducated and that are rejecting us. Okay, if part of rejection are part of society are rejecting us, then okay, let's just accept that. Let's accept that part of society are, as of now, still uneducated and they just don't know. And what happens when anyone uneducated challenges us with something we're doing, when what we're doing is actually something to be praised and they just don't get it? We just have to let it drop off like water off a duck's back. What can we do? Just accept that, Nebuch, you don't understand what we're going through. You don't understand that this is not something wrong with anyone. This is a challenge we have and we're dealing with it in the way we're supposed to deal with it. We can be committed not to reject our own child as a reaction to the society's rejecting us. On a final point, and it's an important one, does Hashem ever reject anyone? No. Even the biggest Roshoim, Hashem doesn't reject them. If he would, they would fall dead. The Talmud Devorah says that Hashem continues sustaining and embracing and carrying those people even whilst they're doing very serious averas. Where's our והלכת בדרכיו? Let's go in Hashem's way, even if they're suffering from being Roshoim, and we're still going to learn that they're not. But let's say that they're Roshoim, being lured by society and by everything that's going on, and they're dropping out. Do we have to reject them for that? Is that the way Hashem teaches us to deal with the Roshoim? I once went to one of the Klal Yisroel with a mother that was complaining about the tumah that the child's iPhone is bringing into the home. And this big gadol, one of the leading Klal Yisroel today, told me, and it's on recording, something which he made it clear to those parents, that the chesed you're doing by embracing and accepting this child is so much more. The kedush you're bringing into your home with the chesed you're doing dwarfs any amount of tumah and negative influence that any smartphone can cause in the home. Let's be committed not to let the rejection that society are rejecting us get to us, not to reject our own children, and Emir Hashem to move on and to triumph in this journey.